in Arbitrage, celebrating our pre 100th episode. Um,
Yeah, this is our celebration. We just wanted to come check in with you guys. It's been a few days, and we have been saying we want to go live a little more often and just give updates on certain things that are happening in the news. Things are coming across fast and furious. So we'd like to update the people on anything that we come across. This is our pre 100th episode celebration. We will have the celebration this week, maybe Wednesday or Thursday. We are talking to some different people to try to get a guest on so that we can have maybe like an end of the year review. We definitely want to do an end of the year review about Bitcoin, its performance over the last 12 months. And we also want to do a end of the year review on precious metals and some of the things that we have projected out for the next few years and things like that. Not few years, I should get it out because it goes all the way out to 2050. So there's some projections we're going to talk about with silver, the mining, the output, the silver to gold ratio, and things like that. We're gonna go deep on that stuff, and we would like anybody who can show up, and if you have any questions, we get into it. So what did you want to talk about today? I had a few things that I came across that I think is important. One of the things I would think was important was there is a coin shortage.
and there has been.
Has been, but it's coming back up because there is a lack of coins and also a lack of physical fiat currency when you go to the bank. And we talk about the fact. Excuse me, I said that wrong. The fractional reserve, which is actually on hand at the bank, and then what you can actually take out. These are problematic. One of the things with Bitcoin is about being your own bank, and just seeing a lot of problems with people getting their own money. It could be something as simple as $10,000, $20,000, and you have to come back. You have to make an appointment to get your money.
And it takes weeks.
And
Sorry,
it
you
takes
guys.
weeks, and it's kind of ridiculous, right? We have talked about this before, and we have talked about having physical cash on hand at home. Do you remember that? We talked about physical cash. People have said have $5,000 in physical cash at home. That's a lot, but have some physical cash. I would suggest at least $1,000 of physical cash at home.
Which would be more reasonable to
Mhm.
a society that we discussed last show
Yeah.
can't afford a $500.
Emergency. Yeah. So
Well, there's two emergencies right there. If you
yeah.
just
So if you can keep that at home, and if you don't have it right now, you just build it up. If you think about $1,000, basically, I mean, you could do the math on it. If you did $100 a month, it'd be $1,200. You cut it down, maybe about $75 a month, which gives you 150 every 2 months. 6 times 150 gets you close to $1,000, right? Yeah, it was 6 times 15. I'm doing the math. 33. I think it's 90. So 15, $75 a month to get you $900. $75 a month get you $900 in your at-home emergency fund. And that's just something to have. If you go back old school, I still, even in these days, I still check in with Dave Ramsey because he gives great fundamental advice about just starting and having, an emergency fund, putting away, whether you own or rent, different type of things. He breaks down good game. He's been breaking down good game for a long time. And, he's somebody who will give you good game. We can mention a lot of people. Who else would we listen to? Maybe I like to listen to Lynn Alden.
Yeah, she does great market updates.
Rao
If
Powell.
you guys are listening to Lynn Alden, though, Lynn Alden is she's expert level 10 million, right? So
Yeah.
you may have to watch her. You may have to watch. You typically I have to watch a show 2 or 3 times because I am not as fluent in the market
Yeah.
as she is. Rao Powell is more not down to earth. That's not what I want to
Yeah.
say. His podcast is a lot easier to digest. Is really what I want to say.
Yeah.
Lynn Alden, she talking to you like she talking to one of her
Yeah,
coworkers.
she's tough, but man, she sends out a newsletter every 6 weeks. It's great. It's very in depth. It's a lot of information, charting. She tells you about her own experience as she's investing, and she runs different experiments with her investment strategy. So Lynn Alden is great. When you talk about precious metals, we always got to talk about friend of the show, CEO Andy Scheckman of Miles Franklin. He's going to give you the breakdown on silver and gold, but he's big in silver. We also want to talk about Chris Marcus from Arcadia Economics. He gives the breakdown as well on silver. Also, Mike Maloney, I think it's called goldandsilver.com, right?
Yes, he's goldandsilver.com.
Mike Maloney, he has a great book that you can read that is a free ebook, a free PDF. And he gives a breakdown on the history of gold. He also has that series that we watched from some years back. It's called, what is it called?
The Hidden Secrets of Money, I believe.
Yeah, that's a great series. We showed it to our children so that they can understand money, what it is, fiat currency, the differences of the two. So I'll pause for there's a couple people in the chat room.
And I do want to welcome some people in the chat. See, when I do this, I can't go backwards.
Yeah, it's a weird setup on this way.
You guys, give me a minute. Like I'm having all sorts of weird technical issues today. It just don't even make sense. Here we go. There we go. Okay, sorry about that. So I want to welcome BK Crypto. I swear he is always the first in the room. Boom. That's always the first comment. So thank you so much for coming. Well, pause. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh my goodness.
93% of Bitcoin is out. Oh, I got you. Because of the scarcity of it. Yep. If you know, you know. Hey, family. Will you also touch on the silver demand for solar? Yeah, we're going to talk about the industrial use.
That's a big thing, the industrial use of silver. So I have a year-end report from a couple different sources. Peter Schiff. I know a lot of Bitcoiners don't like Peter Schiff, but he still is a billionaire and he knows what he's talking about. So we have a year-end report from Peter Schiff. We also have a year-end report from, I believe it's Reuters. And we're going to go over that. We're going to talk about the demand of solar and electrical vehicles and how they will eat up the demand.
But hold that thought.
Available silver.
So I may or may not have mentioned this to you today.
Mm-hmm.
There was a total recall, no pun intended, on Teslas. I don't know if you guys have heard about that. So a third party did some type of analysis over like crash reports.
Okay.
Or maybe like a RCA, which is known as the root cause analysis.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds like there's something iffy with the autopilot feature of Teslas. Elon Musk did not want to recall them.
Okay.
But I need this up, baby.
Okay, I'm sorry.
But ended up doing it as like a courtesy, because y'all got to remember, Elon Musk is not a billionaire because he's a genius. He's a billionaire because he gets what we call, I don't like to call it welfare, but he gets credits from subsidy from the United States government. Also, he's going to be hella incentivized because Klaus Schwab wants EVs, electric vehicles, to be the thing. Does anybody know why? He wants electric vehicles to be the thing because what happens is when they're doing their smart cities, they can hit the kill switch on the vehicle if you pass the parameters permissible. If you're grounded because you've been bad and your social credit score has gone down significantly, your car won't start at all. You cannot go anywhere. You will literally be grounded, et cetera, et cetera. Mm-hmm. I don't want to get back into it because I don't want to deviate too much from hubby's show. But I did want to mention that because you were talking, and I don't know, I mean, to recall a total recall of every electric vehicle, what if that's my own vehicle? I don't understand how the logistics of that is going to work yet. I don't know if y'all care about that, but it is related to the economy just because it's Elon Musk, right? Mm-hmm. And it also is in relation to the silver use, right? Mm-hmm. If you voluntarily give up your electric vehicle, you will get free updates and I think some free upgrading, and that might now tie into the use of silver.
Yes.
But I'm not really sure yet. I don't have all the details. It just happened. So I will kind of lightweight keep y'all up to date on that. I don't know how many of you have an electric vehicle, but it's interesting and it is a market of the times. Go ahead, sweetheart. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I
go
just
ahead,
want
read
to.
it if you have any to read.
Crazy Bronx Don, the Colonel said, "Howdy, did I miss much? Nope, we just started 10 minutes ago." Jake Fever, I'm irresponsibly long on Bitcoin. Nothing else matters anymore. That is correct. We are also Bitcoin maximalists as well as precious metal
Mhm.
maximalists. Ooh, say that 3 times fast. The Colonel said, Lynn is deep. Yes. For those of you who do want Navy style to be pushed in the pool to learn how to swim,
Mhm.
start watching Lynn Alden if you want to get well versed and fluent in the market
Yeah, because
and jargon and
she really talks about the macro view, macroeconomics. So she is an expert in that, and that's what you look for. You look for some of these experts. One of the things that you have to out here in this community of investing, you have to vet people very, very thoroughly. And so we will always give you people that we have vetted, that people that we trust. If we name somebody as somebody we vetted, we listened to for years, and they give great information. They give great. If you guys are into technical analysis, you could check out Scott Melker. Scott Milker will break down the charts every day and just give you an overview and see, the trends. He's great at technical analysis. If people are looking, sometimes for more of a short-term trade, if you're trying to trade, get in and out of things, but he also has a long view. Also, you have to check out, what's our man's name? I forget his name, man. I shouldn't even have said it. A doctor. He's from Lebanon. Dang, what's his name? Do you know?
he used to teach that
He
course.
teaches the courses. He wrote the
He
book.
wrote the white paper,
No, he wrote the Bitcoin
the Bitcoin standard or something
Bitcoin
like that.
standard. Y'all help me in the comments. I
I
can't his
can't think
name.
of his
His
name.
name escapes me right now, but he's Safe Dina Moose. I'm sorry, Dr. Safe Dina Moose. So if you check him out, he has classes. He wrote the book, The Bitcoin Standard, and he also has a new book called The Fiat Standard. This is Dr. Safe Dina Moose. He's an OG in the community. He's been around for a long time. We still rock with Max Kaiser and Stacy Herbert. So just a lot of information that's out there, as far as Bitcoin and the precious metals. We also definitely are big on because we talked to the Colonel, shout out to the Colonel about different places to maybe that you can live and or invest in. So that show is coming to some of the top places to go in 2024. So we'll definitely have that show and show you some different places to invest, some different opportunities to get visas and things like that. It's it'll be very informative.
Um, Jake Fever. I didn't know this, Jake.
Okay.
He said Rao emotionally sold all of his Bitcoin. Did you know that?
Well, Rao is big on Ethereum.
Oh, okay.
So yes, he is. He's huge on Ethereum because he likes the ability to build upon the platform of Ethereum, right? So he is a Bitcoiner, but he's not a maximalist. So if you said he sold all his Bitcoin, I wouldn't be surprised.
Emotionally.
I wouldn't be surprised. But at this price point, he probably should have got out of there with a very nice profit that I would know of. I don't know his price point, his entry point, but at this point, he should have profited very well. And did he say what he moved it into, or is he keeping cash on the sidelines? If you know,
Jake,
let me know.
if that's information you have,
Yeah.
Edeb and L, peace and love. Shalom, shalom, Edeb and L. Thank
Yes,
you so
indeed.
much for joining us. Cryptonomics is in the house.
Uh
Hello,
oh.
Cryptonomics. How you doing? He says, sup, y'all.
Uh oh.
It looks like Light Vibes. I want to welcome you. It says, glad to have caught you guys live. So, Light Vibes, thank you so much for joining. I hope I did that right. MC Light was my girl back in the day.
Hey.
She's the first female rapper I ever saw. Believe it or not, you would think like I would have seen Queen Latifah or something first, but no, Light was the first one I ever saw. Light as a Rock was my song at like
Okay.
5.
Okay.
Jake Fever, Elon Musk is a genius that gets U.S. credits. That's funny.
Yep.
I don't know, Jake. I can't tell if you're being sarcastic, but I'm gonna tell you that his genius is not
Showing?
Not that it's not showing, it's just it's not all encompassing.
This is true.
Reno Gamble here for the pre 100. Thank you so much for
Oh,
joining us.
yeah.
We know a Reno and a Gamble.
Hey, what's up, Reno? I haven't seen Reno Gamble in a while. Great to
Okay.
have you. Great to have you. We appreciate it very much.
Jake Fever said every autopilot motion sensor vehicle is sold in the US. That's interesting, right? Because I'm going to watch it. I was actually kind of, so this is odd, right? Because, I don't care about us like that. Like, "Oh, we have to recall these vehicles or there's something else going on." I personally think that they want to recall the vehicles so that they can add a more monitoring component to it, right? In light of the smart city situation.
Hmm.
So that's speculation,
Yeah,
right? That's
smart cities.
alleged. This is what Aaron
Yeah.
thinks.
The smart cities are real. We went over
My
the smart
opinion.
cities, but
Mhm.
they're coming. They're coming soon. They will be here soon, I should say. And it just the way that they are marketed is to have convenience, right? Everything is at your fingertips where you live at. You don't
Yeah.
even really have to
Mhm.
leave the quote unquote smart city, and that is marketed to the people and to the younger people.
But the truth of the matter, the reality of it is control, control, control,
Yes, indeed.
to a whole new level. It says Klaus Schwab is doomed. His world is crumbling, just like his other puppets. Not necessarily a Devenel. So this is all biblical prophecy, right?
Uh-oh.
It was written 2,000, maybe less, a little bit less years ago. So it does have to come to some type of fruition
I think so. I
in
think it was.
order.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, I think it was written in 1996. That's what I remember from that year.
It was written was
So,
1996.
oh my bad. That's what
But
it
the
was.
prophecy of all of this stuff that's happening, especially Klaus Schwab's vision for a more controllable universe,
Mm.
that's actually all biblical, y'all. Light Vibes said, okay, so Light Vibes is new to crypto, making their transition into the market.
Mhm.
Some things you would recommend for coming into the market. So, one, Light Vibes, the market is a long game, meaning that you have to be patient and slow and steady wins that race. So, consistency, dollar cost averaging, we talk about it every show. Go ahead and do your thing because you didn't do it this time when we first started.
Okay, stacking sats, and be stacking ounces. I know people also are in the stock market, the stock exchange, the New York Stock Exchange. You have to also, has a different a different dynamic when you're dealing with the stock market. But I'm sure you guys understand that, and you just have
But
to.
light is new.
Oh, okay.
So I was just addressing Light
well,
Vibes.
So
Comment.
one of the things that we do like vibes is Swan Bitcoin. So if you look up swanbitcoin.com, you can go in there, you can set up an account, and what they'll do is they'll automatically deduct money from your account and buy Bitcoin for you. And it could be as little as $10, and you can set it up how you want. You want it once a week. You could pick the day, Monday, Thursday, whatever day you want. Some people will do it daily to dollar cost average. So, for example, if you wanted to do $300 a month in Bitcoin, you could just do $10 a day.
However you want to do
That
it.
keeps the volatility down. So it's a very good platform. And also, if you need any trouble, if you had troubleshooting,
Read Womack.
Yeah. Read Womack and get with you. That's my homeboy. Read Womack.
Reed Womack will write you personally and help you.
He will help you.
Great
So,
customer service.
great customer service. So Swan Bitcoin.
We are not sponsored by Swan. We're just giving you
just
some,
stuff that we use.
we are not financial advisors. It's not financial advice.
Not at all.
Yada, yada, yada. Light Vibes. Also, we are heavy into precious metals, silver and gold. Silver's cheap, right? So it's anywhere between $23 and $25 at any given time per ounce.
Yeah.
Even if you bought 1 ounce a month, at the end of the year, you'll have 12 ounces. 1 year turns into 5, you'll have 60, and so on and so forth. So definitely look at that. Our last bit of advice would be do your own research, right? Talking heads on a computer are great. It's fantastic. You get some insights, you get some ideas, but you always want to do your own research and do your own due diligence.
Definitely. She's definitely right about that. So be careful when you get into the crypto space because,
A lot of loopholes.
and we go over this. Bitcoin is different than the other cryptos because Bitcoin has a property. It has the properties of money. It also has the properties of ultimate scarcity. And it also has what we like, what I like, and what she likes about it, very low, if the zero counterparty risk, right? When you look at Ethereum, it's really built by Vitalik. And if something happened to Vitalik, it's a problem, you're going to lose value, right? It's really built behind him. If you guys remember, you old school cats, I bet you do. Do you remember when Steve Jobs passed away, Apple stock tanked? And so, because everything was based on Steve Jobs and his innovation and ideas that he had for Apple, correct? And so once he passed away, Apple was kind of in flux. And if you guys remember, there was no really new innovation coming out with Apple after he passed away. You remember that?
Right.
Every phone kind of was like, well, this is like the last phone, this iPad. And it took a while. It took a while for Apple to get
I think
back
they
on their feet.
reinvented the camera, but
Yeah, it took a while for them to get
camera
back on their
belongs to
feet.
Samsung,
man,
so I don't know.
So that's counterparty risk. If you have an investment, there's the CEO when these people leave, Jeff Bezos leaves, you see these things. So you keep that in mind. Bitcoin doesn't have that counterparty risk where there's a CEO, somebody who can make decisions, do this and do that, sell their shares, drop it, split the stock share. All these things that happen when you're invested. And we still stay invested in the stock market, but we like these things with low counterparty risk. Silver has low counterparty risk, and we'll get into that about the silver to gold ratio and also the amount of silver to gold ratio that comes out of the ground. And we're going to try. I'm trying my best to get CEO Andy Sheckman on here because he's the expert and he could really, really give us the breakdown on that.
And some market update.
And I'm sorry, I forgot to mention also, if you're looking for precious metals, check out the CEO of First Majestic. His name is Keith Neumeyer. He has silver mines down here in Mexico where we're at. It's in a place out west. It's called Dorado. And he has mines down there. So check out him. He has information. He's been in the silver business for 30 years. And, he knows because he knows Andy Sheckman is a distributor. Keith Neumeyer is about what's coming. He's a miner, what's coming out of the ground. So he can give you that information of what's coming out of the ground, what is projected, and what actually is coming out of the ground. So you can make your decision and choices.
Keith Neumeyer is also a really good friend of Andy's.
Yes, he is.
So Andy will probably have the information anyway.
Yeah, he will.
I want to say, I hope that helps, Light Vibes. But if you go on the drop down, we have our email address.
What's that?
That is Chief.
Uh-oh.
We have our email address.
Uh-oh.
And you're more than welcome to email us at any time. Chief is joining the room. Hi, Chief.
Can we hear
Okay.
you? Chief's
Nope.
gone. Chief will be back.
He'll
We
be
know
back.
the game.
I want to welcome Yinka Africa.
Hey.
Who said hi, people.
Hello. How are you doing? Thank you for joining.
Thank you so much for joining. Bam.
Uh-oh, Bam.
Bam said congratulations on the 100th episode. So Bam, my Aquarian husband, wanted to do a pre-100th episode. So this is technically 99 and a half.
Yeah.
Right? We're trying to get Andy Sheckman on the 100th episode to give y'all some real market updates.
I got to get the Bam, man, one-on-one, man. I'm sorry about the Cowboys, man. I like the Cowboys. I'm a Bengals fan, through and through, but I do like the Cowboys. I hate to see that stuff happen. I like to see Cowboys do well, man. So that's a tough game,
You just
man.
like the Cowboys because we grew up on them.
Right. I like Dak, though. I like to see Dak.
Yeah.
But what's up,
Man,
Chief? How you doing?
I'm all right. You can like Dak all you want to. Dak ain't that good, man. Let's be honest, man. Dak ain't
He was
no
the fourth round pick, wasn't he?
Yeah, but that don't mean that he was good. They made I don't think they I got
the best quarterback.
He just don't perform well. He don't perform well under pressure, man.
No, he does not. But the best quarterback in the NFL that I can tell right now is Jake Browning.
Oh, Jake Fever, Steelers Nation.
Oh, not
Yeah,
the Steelers.
Jake Browning. Nah, well, I mean, yeah, I get it, man. But but it's only like 4 games to evaluate him on, man. And plus, when you got a supporting cast, and we'll see how he do without having Chase this week.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they play the Steelers. So I mean, they play it. Don't they play them in
it's in Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh?
That's a tough one, but
Yeah,
it's fun,
hard.
man. We follow it. It's fun. It's fun.
Yeah, it's all right.
So Jake
Yes,
Fever
sir.
answered your question.
What do you say? Oh,
Raul Powell, he did a mid-bull run in 2021. He went to Ethereum, but he did keep one Bitcoin. He thinks that us maximalists are too toxic.
Yeah, he does say that. He does because
We're toxic.
well, he is
Well,
also a macro economist, and he
mhm.
comes from. I believe he worked for Goldman Sachs. That's where he cut his teeth, as the people call it.
Yeah.
Goldman Sachs. I can't remember what college he went to, but he's a very educated man, and he's very what would be the word? Strategic, where he doesn't really have any feelings about it, right? He's not a maximalist.
Yeah.
He's not like Max Kaiser. He does what he sees to be fit.
I got you.
So,
But that's how you
but he's
should,
also-
to be honest with you, that's how you should be, man, when it comes to markets in general. You shouldn't have like any feelings about it. I understand I can identify with him when he says that some Bitcoin maxis are toxic because of the way that they talk about the asset and the way that they think that it's Bitcoin over everything, and it's not. If you say that, you might as well say it's Apple stock over everything, or it's IBM over everything. You can't say that.
Yeah, you can't. And it's
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was going to ask you, to me, it seems like a lot of the Bitcoin maximalists got in the game early. Does that seem correct? Like they's back 14, 13, 12 sometimes.
And so some of them still in from 2009. Sure.
And they done made so much money, and so it just seems to them like this is it.
Yeah, but it's not the only thing, though, man. That's
not. It's definitely.
I keep saying it's not the only thing. Plus, when it comes to, it's just like with everything else, man. With the internet itself, when it first came out, you couldn't send no emails, you couldn't communicate over it. Then Web 2 came. That's part of Web 2 is the communication over the interwebs. That's Web 2.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Web 2 brought communication. Web 3 is bringing the money in. Web 3 is going to be the financial shit. All right, and that's what people ain't putting 2 and 2 together, coming up with 4 when it comes to this this asset class and what's really going on with the whole idea. It's going to be a different type of internet once these assets get clarity and get to going with the institutional money that comes in. So I mean, things are different, man. You can't say the days of saying, okay, Bitcoin's going to change everything when it comes to banking. It's not. The bankers aren't going to use it. The banks ain't going nowhere. Okay, as much as people want them to go, they ain't going nowhere. That's why it took so long for this to get off the ground. We in 2023. To be honest with you, this stuff should have been taken off because of the type of technology that's out that they've been feeding to us. Because technology, to be honest with you, when you look at some of these old structures, and I know I'm going off the beaten path, but when you look at some of these old structures that are being found across the world, technology has been taken away and has been suppressed. The world was way more advanced than what it is in 2023 right now. All right. Going back, let me finish real quick. Going back to what I said about this nascent asset class, that's a new asset class. It's just like when the stock market started. When the stock market started back in the day, they was like, oh shit, it's the wild, wild west, this, that, and the other. And now, now look at it.
So let me ask you, Percy, because we use one of your quotes. It's a famous quote that we use often. And you said it on the show. You said, I want to put my pennies where they put their dollars.
Exactly.
And so
Yeah.
when you see people like Michael Saylor, Kathy Wood, Black, is it BlackRock?
Mhm.
Is
Yeah.
doing a lot of these people are putting a lot of their dollars into maybe Bitcoin. Is that something that makes you say, man, I should put my pennies there as well?
I already have Bitcoin. I own Bitcoin and I DCA in Bitcoin. So that's another thing that Bitcoiners don't understand. There are a lot of people out here that are into cryptocurrency or digital assets, but Bitcoin isn't the end all be all. You can't. What's your principle that y'all taught me? You got to be what when it comes to any asset class? What do you have to be? You have to
Unemotional.
be diverse.
Oh,
You
diverse.
can't just own Bitcoin. You can't just own Ethereum, and you
Mhm.
can't just own XRP or HBAR. You can't.
Yeah, you gotta diversify.
I got close to 30 digital assets that I hold right now. Some of them in
So
cold
that makes you.
storage, some of them in other forms of custody. But if you just hold one thing and wait for it to pop, there's no wealth in that, man. Diversity brings that wealth.
I do agree
So
with that.
do I mean I know you said you have 30 and I've been there. It's pretty hard to manage all 30, like to keep up on the movement of all of them, or you
Yeah.
have like a okay.
Nah, it's hard to keep up with them, man. I talk to Randy about it all the time, man. It's hard it's gonna be hard to keep up with them, but you gotta understand too. I'm not gonna keep all of those. I ain't gonna keep all of those. I'm going, and the reason this is my train of thought when it comes to this. The reason why I'm not going to keep all of them is because some of them are going to go by the wayside. Some of that technology is not going to survive, just like Netscape, just like AOL. No,
What you
man.
talking about?
I mean
We
that
on
y'all
Netscape.
laugh, but it's the
We,
truth. It's the
we on
truth.
Netscape right now. What you talking about?
No, you're not, because Netscape got taken down about five or 7 years ago.
Yeah, it's
But
been a
nah,
It
minute.
feel like
I know,
Netscape though.
huh?
It feels like Netscape sometimes
Yeah,
though.
Yeah,
Next.
but y'all know I know about technology, man. Technology turns over, man. And with me having a network administration degree and working for Apple, I know for a fact that some of these assets that aren't really providing their customers, some type of liquidity, security, or interoperability, or whatever else comes. The world is evolving, the world is changing. The advent of AI, it's going to be another set of assets that come in that's going to the ISO 20,022 tokens, HBAR, XLM, Algorand, XRP, all of those, they're going to get rivaled by another set of assets that come in. So when it
So let me
comes
ask.
to polka dots, when it comes to, I'm sorry, man, I don't mean to keep cutting you off, but when it comes to the polka dots, when it comes to the AVAX, I was just looking at the AVAX that I have right now. I'm up a decent amount on it because of what I paid for it. And when I
Okay.
get what I want, I might slice some of that in half and run it into something else that hadn't ran yet.
All right. Got you. So I see you up on the AVAX. I got the AVAX too. I don't have as much in there as I probably should, but I did, like you said, did well. It's up. So if you up on AVAX, our cash app is in the description. So, but you ain't think that was funny? Come on, man. But let me ask you a question, because this is the thing we talk about. When you have these assets and you're building them up as you are, do you have
Yeah.
a strategy on? I know you, and you have a family, you have daughters, you have grandchildren. Do you have a strategy on, like, maybe what you keep for you and your wife, Angie, beautiful Angie, or in what you will want to keep for the grands, your children, and stuff like that? Do you have a way that you
I'm
separate that?
I'm building wealth for my grandkids, man. I keep telling y'all, I'm gonna make
But
Santana a multi-millionaire. And when I
but
make
at what
Santana,
point do you enjoy some of the wealth that you worked
I'm
hard to
going to
build?
enjoy it along the way. In the process of making him a millionaire, what do you think I'm going to do with that? I'm going to make sure that we are. I'm going to make sure that we are are good to go as far as any asset that we own. We truly own it. Any
Yeah.
property that we own, we truly own it. everything's going to be within our trust, and then I'm
Yeah.
going to start leveraging that life insurance.
I love
Because
that. I love what
I'll become my own bank. That's how
I
the
love what
Rothschilds, the Warburgs, all the mugs did it. Hey, the people that's out there listening, do a little research on how these 5 to 6 families got ultra wealthy like that, and how they doing it right now. They did it with insurance companies. Look up what a BOLI is. A BOLI, a bank-owned life insurance company. When you put your money in the bank, they taking out insurance on the money that you got in the bank.
So I like what you just said, because last show, it was a couple gentlemen, and they wanted to talk about trust, and I said, well, I'm gonna have to get the chief on here because the chief is he's an expert in trust, and
I
I
ain't
think
no expert. I just have one, man. I mean, I ain't an expert in hardly anything. I just try to learn as much as I can before I stop
Right.
breathing.
Right, and he asked about. I want to say this right. I was gonna look it up. Irrevocable
Trust and a revocable trust. There
Yeah,
are
that's what he.
different types of trust. Okay, there's an irrevocable trust and there's a revocable trust. And I'm not. By the next show, I'll read up on what an irrevocable. Well, I can look at it right now. Don't get me wrong. I can look that shit up right now.
While y'all do that, I just want to welcome a few other people.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Welcome to people. We love the people.
40 minutes ago.
Oh,
Aiken, Jesse, thank you so much for joining. Aiken says they love our show.
No, thank you.
Apparently, Jake Fever is an Elon Musk fan.
Oh,
Don't know
man.
anything about that. The Colonel, stacking. Would make a nice.
Jake Fever's an Elon Musk fan and a Steelers fan. Come on, Jake. Let's get it together.
Jake from State Farm.
The Colonel says stacking would be a nice T-shirt clothing line from the Simon family.
Oh, and get some merch.
If you don't have one Bitcoin and get to one Bitcoin, that is the single most important thing you can do to change you and your family's life. That's Jake. Tell Chief Jake's in the building, so get cooking. He's been waiting for you, Chief.
Yeah, you want to get back on cooking with cooking.
Jake Fever is a Steelers fan. You talking to 2 Bengals fans, so you know that ain't gonna bode well. The only thing that could be worse than that is a Chiefs fan.
Oh man,
yeah, that'd be all right.
Come on, he said, "Come on, Chief, can't come in the room with the Cowboy slander." That's so funny. Bam is the diehard Cowboys fan.
I used to be a big Cowboys fan when I was younger, man. But you know.
You talking about old school? You talking about like the Tony Dorsett days?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's the old.
Yeah, I'm talking about right there.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Jay, curious to your AVAX to Bitcoin percentage. He said, "What's your AVAX to Bitcoin percentage? You're up. If you know, said that's one of the big reasons I'm not a degen. What's a degen?
I gotta see it.
DEGEN. You have to keep up with all the news happenings of each project. Yes. Yes, it is a time and a half, no overtime pay job.
And remember, we talk about this. We talk about this a lot, but I'll just reiterate it. Like he said, he made some money off of AVAX and he rolled it into something else.
No, I didn't do it yet. I'm going to do it. I'm waiting for it to get even higher because we ain't even went into the halving yet.
But what I was trying to say is
between April and June of next year, okay? Between April and June, it's going to be the time when a lot of these things is going to be popping and they're going to start to elevate, and that's when I'm gonna start making moves.
So, but as a man who has retired 30 years, right?
28, yeah, so it might as well be 30. Shit.
Yeah, so when you have the money that you have built up over that time, how do you see to protect it? Like when you go to some places that's a little bit more risky, some of these investments, and then what do you do to protect the wealth that you work so hard for?
Well, I mean, I got it in a retirement account, man. I don't, the majority of my holdings that I have right now, I can't touch it until I'm 59 and a half. And it's locked up in there until I'm 59 and a half. By that time, the value of it should be really good because of the halving that's coming up. I'm only 54, so I got 5 years to mess around with it. I like I said, I'm gonna use that IRA that I have with I Trust Capital, and then once I'm able to take monies out of that, that's going to be the like generational stuff. The monies that I don't have, that's locked up in institutional grade custody with my broker. Shout out to Caleb and Brown. Look up Caleb and Brown. Caleb and Brown is a broker that custodies crypto assets, and that's where I'm gonna take my liquidity from, because y'all gotta understand, when the halving starts and these assets start to pump, everything that I've learned as far as doing my research, and you've been through a couple of bull markets as well. Sometimes these exchanges aren't reliable. They go down because it's a lot of people trying to get liquidity all at once.
Yeah,
so,
I've been. Yeah.
You know, that's why I went with a broker, man. You know, me and Randy, I talked to Randy about it, and you know, I did mine first, and then he talked to the guy from Caleb and Brown, and they use fire blocks and other institutional grade things. Because look, what's coming with these assets, even Bitcoin. Okay, this is what's gonna happen. You will have to have it custody by somebody that is regulated to custody it.
You definitely. So let me ask you.
It's going to be laws in every country that will allow you to mess with these, to invest in these digital assets. That's what's coming.
Yeah.
Watch and see what I tell you. You're gonna have to have it custody. You ain't gonna. They want to take it out of your hands all the way completely. The thing about it, you're gonna have to decide who you're gonna trust in a trustless thing with your assets.
You got it, man. You got it. You dropping what I call jewelry. You dropping jewelry. Reno Gamble said facts. Preach. So you dropping jewelry right here. I want to ask you, because I guess this will be my third halving that I've been through. If you notice from the last two halvings, there's like a very strong pullback.
Yeah.
Before it takes off. So would you be like somebody who would have cash on the sidelines or want to run it back into Bitcoin as you see that pullback to buy it very cheap before it runs all back up? I mean, we have charts.
Absolutely,
man. What's my man's name with the don't show his face? He always talk about he got the stock to flow model. What's his name, man? Y'all help me. Y'all know who he is.
Plan B.
It's Plan B. Yeah, he got a stock to flow model, and he just shows how it's gonna go up and up and up and up. And you know,
it shows the pullbacks as well. It shows the pullbacks. They just don't talk about the pullbacks a lot, you know.
Yeah,
but it's gonna. I think we're gonna have an initial surge, and then we'll have a cooling off accumulation period, and then it's gonna really run. They're saying this bull cycle is gonna be for a couple of years.
Like, I can take that.
Yeah, they're saying it's gonna be for a couple of years. The way that Bitcoin was created to go on the election cycle and some other cycle. Raul Paul was talking about it. That Jake it must be
because Raul Powell talks about
no cash on the side, go all in. I ain't doing that. You can do it if you want to, Jake.
He talks about that business cycle.
From
the macroeconomics, he always talks about the business cycle, the up and down, the ebbs and flows of the business cycle. And so I like to listen to him. He's very like you said, he doesn't have any. He just goes with whatever he thinks is the most and the best decision. So I love Raul Powell for that. So let me ask you another question, because a person like you told me you looking to maybe go get some property and things like that in another country.
Yeah.
And one of the things we talk about is the Bitcoin, how Bitcoin, but also other digital assets are not transferable, but you can move them across borders, nation states, without too many problems. Whereas if you have physical gold and silver, there will be problems.
Yeah.
We've dealt with. And so, how do you manage that? If you say, "Hey, I'm gonna go to Belize," you're gonna take a portion of your wealth, and it'll be digital or on a ledger, and you leave the physical portion at home, or how would you manage that? Because it can be difficult from our experience.
Yeah, I mean, it depends. That would depends on the individual and how much of the hard assets they actually physically custody themselves. I mean,
Hmm.
I have a little bit with me, but I also have more that is custodied by my IRA. So I got precious metals in my IRA as well.
Yeah.
Shout out to I Trust Capital, because that's the only thing with real money. Real
Mm.
money is the portability aspect of it is kind of, it ain't tricky. It's kind of like what you gonna do, because when you got those precious metals, it's heavy. You can only take so much, and then when you crossing the border, if you flying and go through customs, it's just too much BS that you would have to go through. And I
Yeah, it's a
get it,
lot.
I get it. And then who's to say that one of these customs mugs won't jack your ass?
They
You know
will
what I'm
try.
saying?
They will
So
try.
I mean, that's one of them things, man. When it comes to what the colonel just asked about pullback, how much, 10, 20%, nobody knows. That's something that even market analysts don't know. So you
Yeah.
just gotta be in the market, and you gonna have to play it by ear, man. I mean, this will be my first one. This will be my first bull market, but from everything that, when you look at market trends in the past, and because it's you can go back in the past and look at the trends and look at the candles and see how things went, but it's not saying that it's going to go like that this time, because
Yeah.
each cycle is different. This cycle is going to be way different than last cycles and all other cycles, because it's going to pull. This cycle is going to be the institutional slash utility, beginning of the utility cycle, to where there are going to be assets that actually provide something for different companies and services to come in and prove they metal about, as far as like what they were created to do.
So let me ask you a question, Chief. As far as do you start, as far as the stock market? So, and we may have talked about this before, but I'll go back in and ask. Some people actually don't want to custody the Bitcoin, and they'll go to different companies like MicroStrategy, Grayscale, stuff like that, where you can just invest in the company and you don't actually have to custody the Bitcoin. And
Yeah,
but what happens is, it seems these companies get exponential gains as Bitcoin goes up, but
yeah,
conversely,
fuck that.
they get exponential losses as Bitcoin goes down. Is that something that you are
No, hell
that you're
no.
into? Yeah, no,
No,
okay.
not at all. If I'm gonna do this, I want, like, the Bitcoin that I have. I got it. I mean, I don't want to invest in an ETF. Can you please check to see the tune at the bottom of the
And
page?
conversely, would you also say, because a lot of people, and I've done this before, will, if you want an, what would you say, exposure to precious metals, you might invest in a mining company. Is that something you
Yeah.
would do, or something like that?
Well, I mean, I don't know. It depends. I would have to do a lot of research on a mining company, because mining
Fact.
companies go out of business. Mining companies can
Sure
do
do.
something stupid and get in trouble. I
They
mean,
sure
I would.
every
Yeah, my thing is, the silver that I got physically, I like it because I got it. If something happened to it, it's my fault. What I own in my IRA, I have to trust that their custody system, which is a proven custody system, nothing will
mm,
happen to it. Anything
mm.
can happen at any time. Everything can go to zero. To be honest with you, we really ain't in control of nothing, because we ain't the people that's pulling the levers.
Nah.
So, I mean, when you think about everything that's going on in the world. What are we in total control of? It's
Barely
not a
nothing.
lot. It's not a lot, you know? So y'all, I got to go downstairs and check on something real quick. I will be right back. So, and when I come back, I'll help y'all answer some of the questions, but I'll be right back.
All right, go ahead. We want to go into people speaking.
I want to welcome Let Freedom Ring, who
Let
said
freedom
hello,
ring.
family.
What's up? Let freedom ring. That's the homie.
PFC Wells.
That's the homie too.
If
What's
that
up?
happens with crypto, then what have to happen with precious metals? No, I'm sorry. I read your comment so late that I'm not even sure.
So what did he say?
If that happens with crypto, then it would have to happen with precious metals. I don't remember what y'all were talking
Oh
about.
wow, that's a tough one.
No cash on the sidelines. Go all in.
So who said that? That's a gambler.
Oh, that's Jake.
Oh, that's a gambler right there. He said,
I
go
guess
all
y'all
in.
were talking about pullbacks because the colonel asked about a pullback.
Well, I have a chart. I don't have it on hand. I'm sorry, guys, but I have a chart, and you want to be ready for 80% pullbacks you've seen in these halvings, right? So the last halving kind of coincided with the pandemic, if you guys remember. And Bitcoin was pushing, pumping. I think it got close to 12,000 and pulled back all the way to 4,500. You guys fact check me, it's right in that area. And so people were very nervous about that. And then it went on that run all the way to what? Almost 70,000, 68,000. And so, you got to be ready for those harsh pullbacks. And that's why dollar cost averaging is a great it's a great strategy. So that way you can buy and keep the volatility down. Because people buy on the way up, you're buying at 30, 40, 50 and it pulls all the way back. I mean, you remember around this time last year, it was about 16,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and people were nervous. They say, hey, you could look at
They
the
didn't
chart.
know how low it was gonna
Yeah,
go.
they look at the chart. Everybody was saying there's a 4,500 would be a pullback and a rebound. I said, oh man, but we kept buying at 16,000 and it didn't hit that spot. Doesn't mean it won't, but it didn't hit it yet. So do you see anything else? A couple people speaking. I'm sorry, I can't read. Y'all need some
Tron
readers.
7000 said go blue. Not sure. Shout
Go
out to
blue.
Ohio.
Yeah.
Jake was talking to the colonel,
Yeah.
and he said no, it was 7,800. Pull back to 3,800. I knew it was.
Also, it got all the way to 3,800. Yeah, it got low. It got low. Thank you for that. Thank you for that clarification. But that is, if you do the math, that's a huge pullback because 3,800. It was 3,800. Almost has a double, right? So you need 100% returns to get back to it. So yeah, that's real. You have to be ready for these pullbacks. You have to. I know a lot of people who are Bitcoin maximalists will just hold on to Bitcoin no matter what. But there's always time to take profits, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if it gets up to 60,000, I was taking profits at 50,000. 60,000 because I knew as you watch the chart, you could see resistance right there. And I said, well, if it's going to have resistance, let's take profits. And you take profits at 60,000. I seen the resistance. I can see the resistance on the chart. Take profits and be ready and prepared for that pullback. This is technical analysis. Our show really isn't about technical analysis, but it's part of the game. It's part of the game. If you check out some of the other people on the channel, they got it. They got the technical analysis. It's correct. But I'm gonna pass it over to Aaron. I she got something ready in the chamber.
Just for your global news.
Yeah.
I'm more of the economist, I guess, or at least current event person. I feel like I'm in third grade. So y'all know I bring y'all a current events, and so this is global current events.
Mm-hmm.
It says Market Insider. Market Insider says U.S. debt and dollar risks mean that China should cut its treasury holdings. It's really bad, y'all. So it's time for Beijing to wean off the U.S. Treasury as American debt risks seem destined to worsen. And this is what a former Chinese central bank advisor said in a speech on Sunday. This was written today, you guys, so December 19th, right?
Yes.
The country, which is estimated to hold over $1 trillion with a T in treasury assets, should not reinvest the proceeds once the bonds and the notes mature. Instead, China should accelerate the adjustment of its overseas assets and liability structure, improve returns on overseas net assets, and lower the shares of foreign exchange reserves in its overseas assets. And this is quoted by Bloomberg.
Nice.
The appeal against U.S. debt flows alongside growing alarm on Wall Street that the country should stumble into a default at some point in the future. Part of the concern is that historically high U.S. deficits are spurring an increase in Treasury liquidity at a time of waning demand. Nobody wants our dollars.
And we talked about this last episode. We said that this aggressive attack on the U.S. dollar is a form of war. And people don't, everybody thinks war, but it's a form of war, right?
Absolutely.
And every time, and we get these articles every day, and you can tell it's a form of war on the dollar, and we have to be ready and prepared. So, come on, Chief. I know you got the game on that. What's up?
Shit, I wish I did have the game on that. Everybody don't really know, man, as far as like what's gonna happen with the dollar and all of that. The dollar may go bye-bye within the next 10 to 20 years, but every form of currency, like traditional form of currency, is going to be that way because of the digital revolution that's happening right now. CBDCs, central bank digital currencies, is here. Ain't stopping it. Every country's gonna have it. Every country's gonna utilize it in some form or fashion. Some countries going to use it for control. Other countries are going to use it for whatever goods and services that they may need to use it for. But it's going to be here and it's going to happen. U.S. Treasuries is getting dumped right now. I would dump it too if I wasn't in the U.S. I'm serious, because what has been happening for decades? The U.S. used SWIFT, the organization SWIFT, as a cattle prod.
Yes, they did.
And what they did, you do something that the U.S. don't like, they sanction your ass.
They punish you.
So I mean, we can talk all we want to about the U.S. and all that. And I was born and raised here. I can't lie. I was in the military. But shit, right is right, wrong is wrong. The U.S. ain't for the right thing, man, when it comes to stuff like that. And you ain't going, and there's nobody. It's on Google. You can look it up. Colonel Swift, it's an acronym. I forgot what it is. But nobody, the bully don't stay the bully as long as it's alive.
Yeah.
Now the bully gonna be on top. He gonna punk some people out. He gonna knock some people out. But then it's always somebody in there that's gonna be able to tattoo your ass. It's always somebody who's gonna be able to tattoo your ass. So the U.S. ran its course. The U.S. corporation is running its course, and it's coming to an end. They're gonna have to shift policy. They're gonna have to do things, and a lot of these currencies, it's gonna be different currencies that's gonna be backed by different commodities. That's what's gonna happen. It's gonna have to happen that way, because currencies right now, what currencies are. And I can speak for the U.S. currency because I know about the U.S. currency. U.S. currency is nothing but debt. It's not money. It's a debtor's note. The U.S. dollar is a debt note. Look it up. It's debt. It's not money. Money is gold and silver. All right. I'm telling you, it's debt. And then, that's what happened. They printed more past 3 years. They've printed more money than they ever printed in the history of the dollar.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, and to be honest with you, the only way that they're gonna be able to fix that, some economists and some analysts are saying they're gonna have to put it on some sort of ledger that's gonna be able to handle all of the debt, all of the currency, all of everything that has some type of value.
Yeah, the accounting of it.
And
gold.
I was gonna say, he mentioned the 3 years of printing more money that's ever been printed. If you go and look at the charts for the M1 money supply, M2 money supply, it looks like a hockey stick. That's what we call it. It's kind of the same, and it just goes up.
Wow, it just went up.
So you check out that M1, M2 money supply chart, you know, for the people who are into technical analysis and like to see things like that. Now, I
Yeah.
wanted to pivot. I had a question for you. I had a personal question. And,
Okay,
you know,
hold that question. Let me answer a question that somebody had a while ago
okay.
between what's the difference between a revocable and a revocable trust? And here's the definition, okay? A revocable trust can be changed at any time by the grantor during their lifetime as long as they are competent. An irrevocable trust usually can't be changed without a court order or approval of all the trust beneficiaries. This makes an irrevocable trust less flexible. So I just wanted to get that out the way.
Okay, so that means, so the first one means if you lose competency, then the person that you have, I guess, overseeing it.
Beneficiaries, yeah, the grantor, yeah.
Okay. So when
So
you see things like that, because it gets real messy. You know, we both had parents pass away. Both my parents passed away. Her father passed away, and you have to deal with these things. When as you're thinking about leaving stuff for, like you said, your grandchildren, things like physical precious metals are things you can have in your trust, but actually, if you got a duffel bag in your closet and you know you transition, family can just take it. It doesn't have to go to the state, right?
yeah, but if it's in that trust and that shit come up missing, whoever is the not the beneficiary, but the grant, or not the grantor, but there's I forgot the word that is called,
Yep.
that oversees the trust.
Yeah.
If
Yep.
if the accounting of it is not there, man, people can, get in trouble for it. When
So
it
if you,
comes to what I have, what me and Angie got set, and it's going to be flexible. It's not going to stay constant because nothing, everything changes.
yeah, if you're
I'm
buying,
going to have
say,
it to where I'm gonna try to set it up to where I want to make sure that real property, hard assets
yeah,
stays within the family, and it's just there. That's why I want to leverage the life insurance, okay? Because the life insurance will bring the immediate, okay, if I pass and I got a $4 million life insurance policy, it's there, and a certain amount is going to be used, that is going to be stipulated in the trust to buy more life insurance policies, okay? And then the other portion that's not being used will be divided up and divided up equally. I mean, you got to try to, as much as you can, idiot proof what's going on, because of human nature. Human
yeah,
nature. People are just people, man. They're going to want what they want when they want it and how they want it. And
that's true.
if you have the foresight to say, okay, well, you told me that you wanted to be wealthy, and I'm talking about, my family. Y'all told me y'all wanted to be wealthy. Well, in the course of y'all wanting to be wealthy, if I started it, I'm going to do everything that I can while I'm here and after I'm gone with this trust to keep y'all wealthy and save y'all from y'all-self. Because greed comes in, ignorance comes in. Not that my family is stupid. They smart as hell, but they human. I mean, they human,
Yeah.
you know. And if
So
I can help them in any way that I can to say, hey, when you get older, you'll understand why I did this. You know what I'm
so
saying?
in that vein, let me ask you this, because I keep this in my mind, and you know, I think that, we both have what, four children, right? You have four daughters,
Yeah.
and I got four sons. So when you're building this wealth and you're looking to put trust and all these things in place, do you like actively look at your children and say, "Hey, I know she be the one that could be in charge of it. She's the one who could run it the best." Like, you know what I'm saying? Have an idea like who could run
Of
it the best.
course.
Okay, okay. I do that as well. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't,
Why wouldn't
because
you?
you know I'm
You'd be stupid not to. I mean, if you don't do it like that, you ain't paying attention to your seeds.
right. So you have an idea this person could run it, this person, I leave this one in charge, put his name on it, or in your her name
They're
on
going
it.
to run it within the stipulations of what the trust dictates. They just managing it. They ain't
But what
gonna
I'm
be
saying
able.
is, so you don't
I,
have arguments if something happened where it's like
they can
there's a type
argue
of
all they want to. They can argue every day. I don't care. The trust states what the trust states, and that's the way it's gonna be. And they'll just have to be mad. I don't care. It don't matter.
So
Especially
if you
when I'm
get
trying to make sure, that they stay in a good position financially. That
so
shit,
when you
be
find
mad.
that one that you say this is the one who can probably oversee it the best, do you sit down and just maybe chop it up with her and just talk about different things like this is what I'm looking at, this is what I'm doing, so just in
Yeah.
case you got
They
it, right?
all of my girls have been talked to. They ain't been talked to the extent to what I am going to talk to them about. But within the next year, I'm going to have a fluid, meaning it's not going to be the end all be all. It's going to change. I'm going to have a fluid video that they will be able. That's going to be locked up, and when something happens to me, it's going to be me telling everybody what the hell I want.
There you
Period.
go.
And if they don't like it, they can argue amongst themselves. They can argue if I go before Angie, they can argue with Angie. But they really got to look at that video and look at me and look at Pops that said, look, this is the way it is. Because sometimes when you are older than everybody else and you've been through what you've been through, you see stuff before they see it. And you save them from doing things and making mistakes that you already made.
So let me ask you.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Nah, well, I'm just saying when it comes to financial wealth, if you want it, there's a certain way that you got to go about it, and not everybody is cut out to get it.
So let me ask you
have the patience and the wherewithal to do it.
So I'm gonna come at you. I'm coming at you old school. You tell me what you think about my old school thought process. There.
Don't be over there pissing Aaron off, man.
She mad at me.
I seen how you looked at her when I was saying what I said about the video. Go ahead and ask me.
Nah, she owed me $250 and she mad. I want my money. But so old school, you building wealth, right?
I'm trying my best, yeah.
I'm building wealth. Old school, I should marry my son off to your daughter so that the wealth could stay in the family.
Yeah, but that shit ain't happening because we ain't in the old school. If we was back in the 1600s, the 1700s, then that would be something that we would force upon our kids. But being in the era that we in right now, I ain't forcing shit on my daughters. They're gonna do what they want to do.
I get you. But what I'm saying is what we have seen and because you have 4 daughters, I have 4 sons. Like if they do get married, the wealth could transfer down the line.
No, it can't. No, it can't. No, it can't. No, it can't. It's in my trust. It can't. It can't.
But what I'm saying is
you have to be smart. You have to see shit coming up. My lawyer that helped me, that wrote the trust for me, they already stipulated that. They know about that. Ain't nobody coming in from the outside getting shit. It don't matter whether you married or not. It's in the trust. It's in the trust. It's in the trust.
No. Okay. Well, I didn't know because
yes.
I mean, what I was saying,
that's already thought about. It's in the trust. Ain't nobody over all these hundreds of years that this country been running. It's been many people that then came in and got with somebody because they knew they had money or their parents had money and took their shit. Ain't nobody doing that. Not to us. Because
I'm not saying. I'm not saying they take it. I'm just saying, like, if your daughter was to get married and then she, whatever last name, it may go down their line.
Do it because of the trust. The trust stipulates that even if you get married, you have no right to this financial stuff that was set forth in the trust. That's why you need a trust, because wills can't do that. Wills don't do that.
Like you said, we got to do a whole show on that. That's a very smart man. You all listen to the chief, man. He's dropping knowledge because he was already on top of the game about his daughters and making sure the trust and the wealth cannot be redirected. So that's a
Yeah.
smart man dropping
Just
gems.
like let
It's a
Freedom
different.
Ring just put in the chat. You put
Mm-hmm,
your assets in the trust. You are
mm-hmm.
1,000% correct. You put everything that you have in the trust. The trust owns everything. You own nothing.
Mm.
You are the orchestrator of the trust. So you can say, hey, we need to do this, that, and the other pertaining to the trust. But the trust, if somebody try to come after you, it's in the trust. If somebody
So
try to
let me
sue
ask
you,
you.
it's in the trust.
Let me ask you a question. So I went. We have talked about this before, and I like what you said earlier. You said you were doing stuff for your grandkids. We said we're gonna build for the grandchildren. Like we built something for the children, but we're building for the grandchildren. And then we told them we're building for your children, so you build for your children's children. That way, we're one generation ahead
Yeah.
of building for the people who aren't here yet, but you know they're coming.
It's like 100-year plan.
There you go. Yeah. Okay.
I
That's
mean,
the
you planning
OG,
for the
man. That's
future.
planning for the future. Go ahead,
I'm
Aaron.
thinking past my kids, thinking towards their kids, and thinking
Yeah.
towards my kids' kids' kids.
Mm-hmm.
So I got grandchildren. I'm thinking about my great grandchildren now, because in the process of me making my grandchildren wealthy, their kids will be wealthy, because the trust is going to be in perpetuity.
There you go. I like that. I like that. I like that. Go ahead, Aaron. I'm sorry. I've been cutting her. I ain't been letting her speak. I'm sorry. I've been talking.
No, because we so far past the article now.
Oh, I don't know. Well, you can redirect it.
Now go ahead with the article.
Hard pivot.
No, because there's too many hard pivots, and I think that's confusing for them.
No, okay. I don't know. We just talking. We just chopping up good game is what we call it. But any comments? People in here in the comments, do they want to know anything?
No, they're talking to you about the trust.
Oh, the trust. Yeah, man, the trust is the real deal, and he knows a lot about the trust, and he's very well prepared with his trust. And so that is what we want to talk about, just having the things in place for the people, because I mean, we all want to live to be what, 90, 95? What do we want to live to be? But like that, we could be gone, right? Mm-hmm. So we got to be ready every day of the week. I'm always ready. She's ready. You're ready. Everybody's ready, but we want everybody to be ready. You know, have that stuff in place for your children. Like I said, even when you, like you said, you got, you know, wallets and different things, nano ledger and things like that. You got to have somebody ready in case you're not here who can access all these things. Otherwise, you know, the digital assets will just be lost. Unfortunately, they say 3 million Bitcoin are lost.
Yeah.
So that's what they say. That's what they say. I don't know, but that's good game, man. That's good game. Having trust and everything ready. I know you. So I know you are. You gonna vet any men who come around. You know, your daughters.
Well, you know, whether I'm able to vet them or not, man, I don't give a fuck. They're gonna do what they want to do anyway. You know what I'm saying? I can't stop my kids from doing what they want to do. I know that whoever they get with, whoever they marry, whatever, they will not be able to mess with the legacy of my family, because it's in a trust. They can't. It don't matter if you're married or not. Okay, let me give you a scenario. If one of my daughters get married, and that person that she married to is a shyster, and that if whatever monies that she has privy to, if she want to blow it on him, that's on her. But as far as him divorcing her and getting half or whatever, he can't do that, because if it's in the trust, the way that it's structured and the way that it's written, the outside entity, that's one of the first things that they tell you about when you get a trust, because it's so prevalent.
If your daughter, say, like I said, was vetting, if you were vetting like the husband, and say he was a solid dude and you was really feeling him like, this is a solid guy who could lead my my daughter and my progeny, am I saying that right, in the right direction, would you feel comfortable with him having access to the trust?
Why would you even ask me something like that?
Say that again.
Why would you ask me something like that?
Fuck
no, I wouldn't be comfortable with him having access to none of my shit. He didn't help me build it.
At some point, you
ain't thinking right, man. Nah, bruh. No, No, hell nah, not at all. Why would I? I don't care how well I know him. I don't care about none of that. If I built this shit for my family and my seeds, that's where it's going, man. I don't care how.
Well,
I don't care.
All I can say is I disagree with that, but okay.
You can disagree all you want to. That's just like saying all that stuff that y'all got. Sean or one of your kids marry somebody and they get a divorce, you or whatever, or they cool and they don't get a divorce. You would allow them to take some of your stuff that you and Aaron work for?
Take it?
What
do you mean? Are you talking about somebody?
He said,
why are you
I mean somebody who's gonna who's gonna lead
on it.
Her father passed away.
He can build, he can help her build. What's his is what they build can be theirs. But because listen to what I'm trying to say. No, nothing, man. No. Because at any time,
let me give you an example.
That relationship can sour. And no, I'm not going to have it.
Both our parents passed away. I was left money by my parents that went to her. Her father passed away. We were left money that was left to us. Her father left us money. So that's what I'm saying. If you got a solid guy who's going to move your progeny into the right direction, would you be comfortable with that? Is what I was trying to say. Not no shysters, not no.
If I choose, I already took it out the realm of being a shyster. If I choose to allow somebody to have something that we grew a relationship, then that will be on me. But right now, hell nah. No.
Right now.
Even it would take decades of me knowing that person and knowing the metal of that man, whether they got my grandkids, great grandkids, I don't care, man. No, I don't feel comfortable with that.
My wife, her father, referred to me as his son. He seen me like a son, so he felt comfortable with me taking care of his daughter, his only daughter, and then raising the kids and the progeny. So that's what I was asking. I know it would take decades.
I understand I understand exactly what you was asking. It's just that I don't feel comfortable doing that. Huh?
Why you say, why would I ask that? I'm asking a real question. You say, why would
I know you're asking a real question, but no, I don't feel comfortable with that. I don't care how I feel about them, because I look at it like this, man. We are not in the era that we grew up in. We're not. And I don't care how anybody look at it, because if me and Angie help to build something for our family, I'm not just going. I understand that they might be building their own family. They can build their own family. That's on that man to build something with my daughter. But she's going to have something, and her kid that she has right now is going to have something that he won't be able to mess with. Because when it comes to something like that, if he can get his hands on a little portion of it, he may be able to get his hands on all of it. And then what does that do for the rest of my kids?
But what if he was a stand-up guy and he could actually flip it and do like, hey, we could do this and we could do that.
He can do that with the money that him and my daughter make.
Okay. I mean, I disagree, but go ahead. I disagree. But I don't have daughters, so I don't see it the same way. I don't have daughters.
Bruh, even if I had sons, it would be the same way. I'm telling you.
Well, tell me with the comment. Go ahead. I'm sorry, I wasn't reading what the people were speaking.
Reno wants to know if you get I'm like fighting off a seizure. I'm not angry or anything. I'm just trying to stay focused and not seize.
Why don't you go do what you got to do instead of trying to stay focused? Don't be sitting on here trying to fight off a seizure. Go on and take care of yourself.
It's actually better for my brain to be doing some type of activity.
All right.
Then I'm going to cluster.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
Fight off. But I'm not mad or anything. And I was trying to do the articles and stuff because that was going to keep me focused. But
we got it from here.
Reno wants to know, are you able to change your trust on a whim, even if you created the trust? I'm sure you can change the stipulations.
Of course you can. Of course you can.
And Crazy Bronx Don says he can see your point. I can
Yep.
kind of see the point.
Whose point? He didn't say whose point.
Chief's point. He says, Chief, I can see your point.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I
Only
just
because I think
I agree to disagree. That's all. I mean, it ain't. It's all good.
no, but you're looking at it from our personal
Yeah.
perspective. My
What
dad knew that you were a money guy, so when he left that money for us.
What happens if something happens
But
to
wait
you?
a second, hold
But
on.
listen, but
Let
what
her
happens
finish, man. Let her finish because she
if
has a
something?
great point, and I'm gonna build on that point. I know exactly where she's going.
But you guys are going in the other direction.
So everything
But I'm
can't go
trying to.
your way.
I'm not saying go my way. What I'm saying is we've been here. If her
Okay,
mother
can you let her
passes,
finish?
if her mother passes tomorrow, then that's her. But I'm her husband, so then it becomes my house as well, and then it becomes my children's house.
But I want to back up though.
Let
Okay.
her finish,
My
bro.
dad,
Okay.
if he even thought that we've been married for 23. I've been with you since I was 19.
Yeah.
There was no doubt in his mind that when he passed away, what he left for me, he could trust you to build on.
That's what I was asking.
But that is probably one out of a gazillion. You understand what Chief is saying?
I don't.
No,
I do not.
He's just saying that I'm not going to take any chances with it. This is hers, and that's the end of that.
But you have
Boom.
to have somebody who leads.
No, you don't. She can lead herself.
No. Now we going all the way the wrong way. No, she can't.
No, we ain't. No, we ain't. So you mean to tell me? Hold on. 1 second, Aaron. You mean to tell me, Gordon, that my daughter doesn't have the wherewithal? Any of my daughters don't have the wherewithal to lead themselves?
No, I'm not saying that. But you know the way the world is. Who leads your family?
Me and my wife lead our family.
Do you lead the family, or you just what are you part-time leading? What are you doing?
Hey man, look, don't get it twisted. You know what it is. When it comes to my family,
I know that
me and my wife are 50-50. Me and my wife are 50-50.
You trying to be.
When it comes to certain stuff, 3 o'clock in the morning, something's heard downstairs. I'm going down there. I ain't underneath the covers.
Who changed the tire? Flat tire. You know what we do. You know we lead the family.
But you look, you got to understand, man. Everything doesn't stay the same. You on a horse and buggy. I'm in a fucking Ferrari.
Oh, get out of here, please.
You are in a horse and buggy. You on a horse and buggy. You got a piece of straw hanging out your mouth, and you got the little whips like yeah, and I'm riding past your ass in a Ferrari.
But why? How?
What you mean? Why? How? Because times change. The only thing that's constant is what?
Change. So
look,
the only thing that's constant is change.
Stop. The audience is saying that the conversation is taking a turn and they're getting uncomfortable. Right? Agree to disagree. Let's move on to something else.
You still do biblically. You leave your father's house to go to your husband's house. That's a biblical.
That's not what the new people are doing.
Yeah, and who wrote? Wait a minute. Okay,
is it in the Bible?
It's not what the.
Wait a minute, Gordon. Wait a minute. And Aaron, you need to hear this too. Okay, we can go by the Bible, but why would we want to? Who wrote that Bible?
No, you go argue with Aaron about that because she's a Bible.
Wait a minute. No, I ain't arguing with nobody about nothing. You brought up Bible. I'm talking to you.
So is that not in the Bible?
No, you gonna listen to me, or we ain't gonna talk no more.
Is it in the Bible?
Who wrote that Bible? King James. Look up King James. What is out of that particular Bible? There are many books that's not even in there. So I'm not going to go by something like that. I can't go by something like that. And to be honest with you,
let's just.
Who wrote the Aramaic Bible?
I get it. I get what Gordon is saying. I get what Gordon is saying, Aaron. I get it. And I get
we're going to move on. I'm the moderator. We're going to move on to a totally new subject.
That's fine.
Right? Because the people are saying.
Right. Well, read the comments. Tell me what the people are saying. I can't see it.
It says Gordon and Aaron have a great relationship, so you can't go by that. That's real black, right? It's one in a gazillion kind of things. And it speaks for you as a man. Great. Right? My dad was able to do that. Other fathers wouldn't be so comfortable. You just leave it at that.
Exactly.
Leave it at that. If he say he don't want to do that, he don't want to do that.
Gotcha.
Right? Boom.
Okay.
I wouldn't trust a dude to run what I have for my daughter, right? But my father was able to trust you. You did a great job. We live wonderful. End of story, right? So let's move on to deficits in the United States because y'all dollars is coming back with veracity.
Oh, well, China has more physical U.S. dollars than the United States does.
Trillions of it. And
Yeah,
that is the
so
problem.
so that is a big deal. Um, it is a problem with BRICS. We've been talking about BRICS forever, man. BRICS is they're making moves on the United States. The United States, they're doing everything they can to prop up that dollar. So
Well, here's the issue, though, right?
yep.
So the problem is that the U.S.'s net overseas debt is equivalent to around 70% of its GDP.
Yeah.
And 70 is closer to 100 than it's not. And at some point, it is going to eventually hit 100% of the GDP. And this situation is going to be unnerving to all foreign treasury investors, which means all foreign investors that have been spoken to recently are extremely concerned about the trajectory of U.S. deficits. We're talking trillions of dollars coming back to the U.S. shores. Right? If your dollar isn't worth it now, it really won't be in the next, I'm going to say 24 to 36 months, if not sooner.
Let me ask you a question, Chief. Did you go downstairs?
No, I'm
Do you
right
remember?
here.
I don't know if you remember Ricardo. What's his name?
Yeah.
Crypto Rick. Are you familiar with him?
You remember Crypto Rick?
Crypto Rick.
Yeah, we had him
Ricardo
on.
Hamilton.
Yeah, we had him on the show a couple times. He's real big into different types of cryptos and altcoins and silver and stuff like that. I
Yeah.
just read today he was talking about every time he goes to the store, inflation on things that he buys is like the price goes up every time he goes to the store. Because we're not there, do you see that when you go to the store, you shopping?
We see that here.
Well, I'm just saying, in America, I don't know how much it's going up there.
If it's going
Do
up
you see
50%.
that? Like, I mean, just basic stuff. He's talking about milk, eggs,
Yeah,
bread.
everything has went up. Everything.
So, like, just give us how much are a dozen eggs now?
Shit, I've seen it go from $2 to almost $5. I mean, you know, that's how it is.
Are they organic eggs or are they regular eggs?
Yeah, I don't eat like pasteurized eggs no more.
All right,
and
well,
stuff
give me
like
like bread or milk. Give me one of the basic items.
So I don't know exact amounts because I ain't walking around in the
Yeah, más o
grocery store
menos.
with a calculator, but it's then at least doubled on a lot of the stuff like milk and eggs and certain juices and stuff like that, man. And of course, if it's stuff that is so-called healthy for you or better for you than other stuff, then yeah, it at least doubled.
Is it when
So,
you get stuff like I don't know, you know, some people don't eat meat. I don't know if you get stuff like chicken where it goes by the pound. Are you seeing that going up too? Chicken,
yeah,
maybe
chicken
beef
went up
and
by the
stuff like that.
pound, fish went up by the pound, beef went up by the pound. Everything has went up. And I don't
How
know
does
the
that
exact amounts, but everything has went up.
how does that
Everything.
affect your shopping? Like, do you say, hey, I gotta cut it here, or you just roll with it? Like it just costs more. I just pay
Hey,
more.
it costs more, man. I mean, you know, I don't buy a lot of like fluff shit. I don't buy a lot of stuff that I really don't need. You know,
Okay.
and even if it didn't go up, I wouldn't be like that anymore. And
Okay.
because I'm on the mindset now, I want to save some money to buy some assets. Because I wasn't thinking like I'm thinking now a couple of years ago. So when I first got into these assets, man, I will be we going to the grocery store for the family or the wife going, if she would spend $400, I wouldn't bat an eye. But now you can go to the grocery store and get about 10 items and you spending over $100, man. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. But if
How
it's
did
stuff that you eat, if it's stuff that you want, you either gonna get it or you ain't.
how did you contrast it when you went to Belize? How did the price look in a contrast view?
When I was in Belize, the price, I mean, it just depends on what you was getting, man. Stuff was a lot more cheap. It's like half the price of it wasn't like when we went back in 09. You know, back in 09, the ratio dollar to Belizean dollar was 15-1. It was 2-1 now, I think. 2-1 or a little bit more than 2-1. Yeah.
You talking about when we went
across the world? When we went in 09, I asked the person at the at one of those money places, the Belizean rate, you would get for $1 you would get 15 Belizean dollars. It was 15.
You talking about when we went on the cruise?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I remember going to Belize. Yeah.
And then when you just went recently with
I think
Randy,
it was 2-1.
Wow.
Hey, that's a pullback.
Everything everywhere is going up, man. Because
I mean, that's a heavy pullback though.
Yeah, but how many years is that? That's what, about 15, 14 years?
Yeah,
still, I mean, that's a
yeah, it don't seem like that long, but it's been a while. It's been a minute.
But what are we dealing with, y'all? Y'all know what we dealing with. We dealing with the same group of people that's pulling the strings in the world. And what do they want? They want everything. I mean, they ain't gonna stop. You know what I'm saying? They are not gonna stop.
The man, what did he say? Schwab, he said you want to have nothing and be happy.
You will own nothing and be happy.
So, I mean,
and they serious
it
about
gets rough. Yeah, so you know, I don't know. Like, I like to talk to the people in the chat. You know, because investing, Gordon is right. Investing is tough because a lot of it depends on your age and what you got going on with your family and stuff. People who are younger can take more risky investments. People who are older kind of like protect their investments, and then you got the people in between. So it's hard when, like, this isn't financial advice, but it's hard to tell people maybe look into this or look into that. And so, what do you think about that? You know, we're older. When I say older, we're older, and we got kids and grandkids and all that. And we got to try to protect what was built, where other people are straight up building to get to the point where they can protect what they built. So there's a different kind of investment strategy amongst the people. And so what would you say about that? You know, like information you would give people because you have a certain way you want to protect and build, and then a younger person might have a way they want to build.
That's what, and you just basically answered it. It's subjective. It depends on the person. You know, me, I'm 54 years old. I find myself getting more and more conservative, but I'm still a risk taker. I still, I mean, shit, with a certain portion of my disposable income, if I feel like something is gonna pop, I put a little money into it, because if it pop, it pop. If it don't, as long as that little bit of money don't hurt me and the family, then, you know, it would be like if I was going out to buy some chronic or buy some beer or something like that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, serious. That's the way I look at it. Because how many people, there's a lot of people even in the chat, because we all human. I don't care what nobody say. We all waste money. We all waste money. Some waste more money than others.
Yeah.
Okay? Some waste more money than others, and some are more frugal than others. But every single one of us wastes money. We get things that we really don't need. We get stuff that we want. I mean, that's the way it is. So in the grand scheme of things, when it comes to these assets and these things, man, if I do a little bit of research and I feel like something makes sense, just like, I'm gonna give you an example. I put a little bit of Bitcoin that I had in Cash App, because I already got a little bit over a Bitcoin in my I Trust Capital. But the little bit that I had in Cash App was about $500 and something. I believe with the research that I've done, that the digital identity stuff is going to be prevalent within the next 10 to 15 years. So I put about $500 into that, and I'm gonna put a couple hundred more into that before 2024.
That's good.
Okay. And it's because what are they talking about? They talking about AI, and they talking about digital ID, and they talking about decentralized ID, and they talking about things like that. I mean, if they talking about it, they talking about it for a reason. I mean,
Okay.
it ain't something that, I don't think that it's a bad bet. Now
No.
the company that I grabbed some tokens from, when you look at who they with, when you look at who they, I always got my keys, dog. When you look at who they with, when you look at who's invested in them, those companies are winning.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it ain't
Definitely.
something that's like frivolous. It's like with H bar, when I found out about it with the hidden secrets of money, when Mike Maloney was talking about it, and then on that last episode, and then I looked into H bar, and then I looked at the governing council, bruh. Boeing, IBM, all the mugs, they are not going to be part of something that they just throwing money out the window. It's not going to happen, man.
Okay. That's real, man. And I always got love for the Chief, man. He got good game, man. I like what you're saying. I like everything you're saying, man. I had a question for you that I didn't get to ask earlier. It might be a personal question. You might want to answer it or nothing like that. But I know you retired. You papered up, and you got a new job with a new city. Do you have a retirement or with them as well?
Yeah, it's money going into it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So because we know a lot of people who like retire from the military, they catch another government job and retire
Yeah.
again. And
I was
then
just with a buddy the other day that did what I should have done and stayed in the military and retired after 25 years. I should have did that. If I would have did that, man, woo, I would be a contractor right now.
Yeah.
Making well over 6 figures. I mean, because what they paying these contractors now, bro. But yeah, I mean, it's not going to be nowhere near what I got from the city of Cincinnati, because I'm part-time there, and it's certain, you can't do certain things with Sharonville because Sharonville is only 10 square miles. They ain't nowhere near Cincinnati. The run volume, nothing. The revenue, none of that. But it's its own entity, it's its own thing. And yeah, they gave, just like I worked a certain amount of hours, I got a little bonus. I got they gave us all, since I'm a city employee for Sharonville, they gave us all $50 Kroger card to go shopping for the holiday for Christmas. I mean, every little bit help. $50 ain't really nothing, but it's more than what I had before I got it.
Yeah,
So I'm
I mean
taking
that helps.
I'm in the PERS, and it's PERS is their retirement, and it's not as much going in like it was. They have the they got the drop program and all of that to Ohio Police and Fire, but they don't have like deferred comp and all that. Theirs is like PERS. I don't think they got deferred comp.
Yeah, we used to roll up
time anyway.
I know you remember we used to roll up. They would give us the free dinners up in Marburg or Kroger.
Yeah.
You remember that? You go up there.
They still do it.
The turkey dinner. They still do
the
it.
Cash
Okay,
Tuesdays
that was
did
what's
that.
up.
Yeah, the Cash Tuesdays started that.
Yeah, that was real, man. That was real.
Yeah.
I mean, it helped out a lot, man. But it helped out a lot.
Yeah.
You get a nice. I got 4 boys, man. They eat you out of house and home. So
yeah,
you know how that, man. They eat, man. They eat. I said two chickens a day, 2 whole chickens a day. 2 whole chickens a day, too much. 14 chickens a week.
Yeah,
that's too much.
Nah, man. I mean, they're boys, man. We can't
try to kill.
Well, y'all chickens down there are smaller. Y'all got like real chickens down there. Y'all chickens ain't as big as you want.
Yeah, they be like 3 kilos. So what's 3 kilos? About 6 pounds. 6 pounds, a little bit over 6.6 pounds. So they be some sturdy chickens, but
they're just a little bit bigger than I think. Turn it down.
But
I think a Cornish hen for you guys.
Okay. They so that's what they do, man. I love them though. I love them to death, man. They eat. I can't eat no more. I be eating like salads and fruit and stuff like that, man. But It's all good. What you got going on? You don't
I
want to say
already
nothing?
gave the phone up.
Oh, so she lost her article. What's up, Chief? What you got for us?
Finish my article.
Nothing, man. Nothing really. I just jumped on because is this the 100th show?
Not
No,
yet, not yet. I'm working on the 100 show, but I'm getting a lot of pushback, so
Oh, okay.
I might do it anyway, man. I'm gonna just do it anyway.
It's not pushback. It's scheduling.
It's scheduling because it's Christmas this weekend, and I'm like, all right, I can do it.
Yeah.
But Colonel, yeah, we have turkeys. So our turkeys are probably the size of y'all chickens.
Oh, turkey.
Right?
Yeah.
Turkey, right?
No, I'm talking about like the actual whole turkey. And then yes, we do have lots of lamb. Lamb is extremely high in cholesterol. I do not suggest it to be a regular part of your diet.
Lamb kind of bitter to me too, man.
I like the way it tastes, but it's like it'll knock your cholesterol out the. Yeah, it's like duck.
It's like oily.
Yeah, duck is greasy.
So I wouldn't suggest it to be a regular part of your diet, or else you're gonna have some severe health issues. It's rich, I would say. So we also have fish. He said, give them each a lamb or a goat.
No, man, that's King's disease,
no,
man.
No lamb, no goat. They're gonna eat some chicken. They're gonna eat some chicken, eat some fish. I call it Mexican tilapia. It's called mahara, and it looks really like good. Tilapia, really but it's got these like spiky thingies, like real sharp spiky thingies. So I gotta like cut it off when I clean it and stuff. That's the other thing. You gotta like clean your own fish and stuff like that. I gotta be pulling guts out of stuff. So not what I thought, but at least I know how to do it now. I never had to do that in the U.S. before.
I got questions. You know me, I always got hard pivot on people. Hard pivot. Because I know Percy does a lot of research and stuff like that, and I have seen, and I think you've seen as well, a lot of black people like Dubai, Abu Dhabi, these places out here. Have you ever researched that or thought about going out there and checking it out?
Yeah, I'm gonna go to visit, but I ain't going. I'm not living in Dubai or none, Abu Dhabi, and none of that right now, because they still ain't. The shift is happening, but the shift ain't like in full effect as far as our prominence. They still look at us a lot differently, just like they was looking at us when we was down in Mexico, man.
Right.
Every part of the world, we still looked at as something different, and that's cool. But I ain't fooling. I mean, if you go over there, they'll allow you to buy some property and stuff, man. And it depends on, because who you would want to ask is Randy. Okay.
He went over there.
Yeah,
he went to Egypt, right?
It's not the new Atlanta, bruh, at all. You go down there with some Atlanta stuff, you mess around and come up missing or beheaded. For real, some of that Atlanta stuff you can't.
It is extremely expensive in Abu Dhabi, and there's some fallacies there, right?
Your brother goes over there regularly, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So some of the fallacies are, and it's not a fallacy, it's just you got to put it into some context, is that they get paid a lot of money, your tech people there, and so on and so forth. But it's the situation like New York or LA, right? Like if I got a tech job in New York, yeah, I'm gonna make $270,000 a year, but New York going to take back $250,000 of those $270,000. So Abu Dhabi, Dubai is similar.
But they don't have tax like that though, do they? They don't have no income tax, do they?
That I'm not sure about income tax, because a lot of the people have the contractual jobs that I know of are not full on expats. They still pay whatever they have to in U.S. taxes.
You got
to single at a higher rate. They got all of those.
Oh, okay.
I don't even know, like, do y'all pay taxes, or because you're not in the U.S., you feel like they're going to, I don't dig into people's personal business.
Exactly.
But like the economy is taking all of that back. And yes, they do make it seem like it is the new Atlanta, but like I said, in addition to race issues, yes, they have ATMs that will you put your card in, your money in, it'll drop a kilo bar of gold, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just understand what that type of economy looks like. People are impressed by the infrastructure and so on and so forth, but you really have to do your due diligence when you see a lot of, to me, bells and whistles, right? Because we have different financial goals and objectives. A lot of the people there, they have very different financial goals and objectives,
Exactly.
right? They want to go, they want to live a certain lifestyle, they showy, flashy, so on and so forth. And to me, and this is just Aaron's personal opinion, it is in direct contrast to what I'm trying to do for
Exactly.
our
Yep.
family and our grandchildren.
Yeah.
Beautiful place.
Yeah.
Two, when we talk about that one world, uh, not one world government, but the one world church, that is going to really kind of be spearheaded in that area. They already have the thing for the temple, the thing for the mosque, and the thing for the Christians, because they do, that was where the Pope picked to have that
Okay.
consolidation
Okay.
of religion, is the word I'm going to use for now. So, I'm always just kind of like looking to see, like, what are y'all doing over there? What type of incentives do you have? Where does your wealth come from, right? What are you doing that you have that immense wealth? What type of business dealings, world dealings, and stuff like that? And right now, it's probably not a good idea to be on that side of the world, to be honest.
Okay.
Like when stuff jump off, it's going to jump off. You see it's already jumping off in somewhat close proximity.
Okay.
But those are the things you kind of want to look at if you're trying to, like we say, a lot of you guys are talking about aggressive investment, aggressive, you want to aggressively save your purchasing power.
Yeah.
You want to aggressively, enhance the way you offer your economic labor. And that calls for a very simplistic lifestyle. Right? It's
Yep.
not New York. It's not in Hollywood. It ain't even in Atlanta, because, when I look at, people can't even find decent one-bedroom, when I say decent one-bedroom apartment, I mean at a decent rate,
Yeah.
right? We're talking efficiencies in one-bedroom apartments being $4,000 and $5,000 a month, and you don't live in Buckhead. That's crazy. You understand what I'm saying? So, right, Atlanta's economy and its surrounding areas are going to take the wealth back. Raleigh, Durham, they're running the market price up there. Expat place overseas that used to be great for expats, great market. It used to be Costa Rica. Costa Rica's crazy now. There's no way in hell I'm gonna pay any of those rates y'all talking about paying. We lived there.
It was crazy.
And you're just like, wait, what? And it's because it's a small place, and they're running, the expats are running the market value up. Mexico City. When we got here in 2017, you get something real nice in Mexico City for like $500-600 a month for a family. Now those rents are $3,500 and $4,500 a month, and it's a 2-3 bedroom, right? Because of the expat concentration with America and the UK. Now, granted, for the UK, somebody on here is from, that's what I meant to say.
I forget Europe.
But the UK especially, somebody on here said that they're doing smart cities in the UK already. I heard they were the pilot program. But their rents are, for their flats, Mexico City is a dream to them, right? They have very high paying jobs because the market rate is so ridiculous. And when they come to Mexico City, they actually do get a break. So we live in a 6-bedroom house and we don't pay nothing near that, but we live in the sticks. So there's absolutely some significant trade-offs. Oaxaca's market value is starting to run up because all the Black people are running there.
Yeah.
And a lot of those Black people are work from home and tech, right? So they are making decent salaries, and it is It's running everything up. They know they can gringo the shit out of you.
Yeah, and what she's saying is the work from home people will be the younger people. You see these places that entice you to come here, and we have a video we're going to do about some of the entitlements and things you can have if you come to these different places and you work from home. You make a certain amount of money, or you stake a certain amount of money in their bank, right?
Don't do that.
Yeah, a lot of people don't like to do that. I'm not really comfortable with that,
I would never suggest people do that.
but people do it. People do it.
I know, but if y'all are asking, I would never recommend or suggest that you stake your hard-earned dollars in a foreign country's bank, because that country can turn on a dime and just keep your money. People think that because they're Americans, that their American citizenship gives them the legal rights
Don't give you shit
everywhere in the world, and it's like, nah.
That's one of the things, man. That's the arrogance.
Like a Roman.
Yeah, the
Yeah, but it's
arrogance.
true, right? And
Don't give
it's
you
ignorance.
shit.
It's just ignorance.
Yeah.
But and when I say ignorance, I just mean like they don't know. They really think, well, I'm American and you can't
America.
do this.
America,
and
part of America. I can
can
do
get
it. No, you
US
can't.
Embassy, you can get Barack Obama, you can get George Washington himself. Right.
They
You
ain't
don't
fucking
have
with
those legal rights and
Yeah.
and that type of representation in other countries.
Word.
So I'm real resistant to stake, and you got to stake a significant, we're talking tens of thousands of dollars.
Mhm.
And it's like there's more reasonable economic gains
Yeah.
that you can make not doing that.
Yeah.
So
What they say?
yeah, Colonel, I know in the 70s, 80s, but really the huge pilgrimage to Atlanta was in the 90s.
Yeah.
So my brother was part of that pilgrimage. It was huge. We call it the Blackset to Atlanta. That's why it became Chocolate City.
Yeah, it's kind of
They
and you know,
started,
it's
they
kind of
started in the 80s. I remember when they started going down that motherfucker pretty tough, but the 90s
And
it
it
was
climaxed in the 90s.
But you remember in the 60s, it was the 60s, 70s. Everybody was coming up north. They called that
They was coming
Great
up north
Migration, I
from
think.
down south
And
and from overseas, right?
Everybody's going to Detroit, Chicago, right there, and a lot of people went to New York as well.
But the West Indians were having huge pilgrimages to New York and Canada.
Toronto, right?
Yes.
I'll be right back, y'all.
Okay.
And so yeah, so that's what it is, man. We didn't want to keep you too long. We always keep you too long. What's up? What's up in the comments, man? What y'all want to talk about?
That's it.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. We're gonna.
We'll wait till Chief comes back before we cut off. But you know, you definitely want to be stacking. I was giving you just some heads up that trillions, not millions, not hundreds of millions, not billions, not hundreds of billions, trillions, which is significantly far more than hundreds of billions, right? We're talking about exponential of dollars are coming back to American shores. So it's important that you don't wait till tomorrow, don't wait till next paycheck, don't wait till next month. Come up with a plan today that helps to preserve your purchasing power, that helps to preserve some of your economic labor, right? Like people were saying, they have been making more money now than they've ever made in their whole life. And I told y'all in that article last show that the average household should be making $297,000 a month had
a year.
a year. I'm sorry, $297,000 a year salary had the inequality and the elite haven't been siphoning off that money from us, right? If you're making $65,000 a year, people are looking at you like, oh, you make good money. And it's a fraction of what you should actually be making. People who are making $35,000, that article said, are making $21,000 less than they should be, and so on and so forth. Here's the problem. The economy prices, right? Housing, groceries, gas, cars, you know, the things that you need are priced like we're all making $297,000 a year. And that's the problem.
That's the problem.
That's the problem.
Remember, and I'm talking to black people, the numbers go from our good brother Neely Fuller Jr. He tells you about 67% of black people work for a government agency. whether it's city government, state government, federal government. That's where a lot of Black people work.
And that number has decreased because, again, we're talking about these positions that young people are not, we call it rank and file. As soon as somebody come out the line, somebody should be filling in rank and file, right? And that's not happening.
And what else is when you get these government positions, the salary is locked in. It's locked in. So, you make this amount, whether you work for the government doing this, doing that. So you have to keep those things in mind. Government jobs are great because you have a lot of benefits. Even I'm a big fan of, even when we worked for the fire department, you had a union and it would take care of you. A lot of things were taken care of when you had the union. These are things you keep in mind as you go out here in the world and you try to.
But that's something important too, because unions were big in the 80s. My mom worked for a union. My dad worked for a union.
Yes,
70s, 80s. We talking Jimmy Hoffa days, right? Who can name a company that has a working union and they work for that company?
They're hard to find. Yeah, it's hard to find.
And like when we're talking like labor unions and electricians unions, stuff like that, some of those unions are hard to get into and they will make your life very difficult trying to get into that union. I heard, and I would have to vet this or you guys can vet it.
Okay.
I heard that they were trying to get a union for Starbucks.
Starbucks, Amazon.
Kibosh on that. What you say,
they ain't fooling with them, man.
They hit the kibosh on that so hard. Like, no, you're not going to be a protected worker. Corporations are not interested in protecting their workers. You are expendable. Right? We want you to work 80-hour work weeks and give us your 1,000%, but we don't owe you nothing. We don't owe you no loyalty. When it's time to lay you off, we lay you off. We don't even give you no notice. So that's why we're saying, as a community, we make the jokes about being Bitcoin maximalists, but that utility is what that's for. It preserves your purchasing power. It is property in cyberspace. If you're like, I ain't for no mortgage, but what I'll do is I'm going to keep buying this Bitcoin to the equivalent of what a house is going for now. And then you kind of see that this particular asset for you may work better than the house that's going to be a liability long before it ever becomes an asset for you.
Yeah.
So these are some of the things, precious metals as well. You can offset doing the same thing. This is actual property, right? Because it's a tangible thing. But I'm not a financial advisor. I do not give financial advice. All I want to do is spark something in your brain for you to come up with a methodical plan to save you and your.
And I wanted to go in because when talking about property, because I know that's a big thing. We bought a house up in Dayton. And, when I did the math of everything that was going on with it, every 18 years you would pay for the house. When it came to the taxes, the insurance, and everything, you would pay for the house over every 18 years. And so you pay for the house probably twice while you're alive. You pass it on to your children, and they'll pay for it again and again and again and again. And that's why I'm not a big fan of real estate. I mean, if you can have somebody rent it out and help pay, but we had real estate and people don't pay.
But if you can, like I said, when we talk about real property, it is always a liability before it becomes an asset, right? Like, people got to tell the truth about that. And that's a reality that some people don't get. They think as soon as they purchase it, it's going to start making money. No, right? You have to put money. It's an investment. You got to put money in it. You got to upkeep it. You got to do all these things. My mom owns her home. She doesn't have a mortgage. Those taxes go up every single year, and she's a widow.
Taxes.
She doesn't even get a widow's exemption.
How about the HOAs? Those are ridiculous.
Don't get me started with the HOA fees, because that's.
I refuse to move.
That's highway robbery.
Yeah.
That's highway robbery, in my opinion.
But the taxes,
I refuse to move
right
into a place that has a HOA. Where we live at, y'all been over my house, the backside, like the yard that y'all walked through when y'all came to the cookout that one year.
Yeah.
You remember that yard that y'all walked through? Well, that street. Hold on. Let me finish my damn story, man.
Man.
That
I
street.
was about to give you a shout out.
That street. All right, we do it when I get finished, man. That street that y'all walked, that y'all was on, that y'all parked on. That
Okay.
is a HOA, right? The entrance of it. And we
Okay.
are actually part of it. It's called Paul Metals. We are actually part of it. So when I moved in, they sent us a letter, like, you know, they asked us if we would like to be a part of it. I told them, thank you, but no thank you. I don't
Oh,
want
so
no
you can
part of
opt
it.
out of yours.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, no, my
Because
mother can't opt out of
well, the
hers.
reason why is because our house faces Fields Erdel Road, a main
Gotcha.
thoroughfare.
Okay.
So that's why they try to, you know, they try to get. I said, I when I told them no, thank you. I said, and the reason why is because that little entrance that y'all have, I get no benefit from it at all. What benefit? I said my
None.
house, and then they wrote back like, we totally understand your blah
Understand.
blah. And I was like, man, I ain't paying y'all for nothing. Y'all can kiss my ass.
Well, she lives in an active development, so they have clubhouses, pools, gyms. You know, they got all of
I get
the
all of that,
bells
but
and whistles.
if you ain't
They're
got all
open.
that, if you ain't got a
Somebody got to
pool,
come.
yeah,
Somebody got to come and do
cut the
their
grass,
landscaping,
yep,
right?
do
But the
all the
landscape
landscaping.
contracted. One company does everybody's. Anyway, long story longer. That goes up every single year, and
Every
they will
year.
absolutely put a lien on your house if
Yep.
you fall behind on any of those HOA fees. But I was really talking about the taxes
Well,
because she's a widow and she should have some type of widow's exemption. Somehow, some way, Florida always facts when it comes to doing stuff the right way. Because
Yeah,
I'm sure,
Florida.
like everybody in Florida, at some point becomes a widow, right? It's God's waiting
Yeah.
room. They say.
also tell them about how you have to paint the house is it 2
She's
years?
got to paint the house every 2 years. You got to show them the receipt.
Yeah.
So my brother did it for her, but he had to like do up this whole receipt and stuff because they don't want you doing it yourself. And I said, well,
That's a rip-off.
if you professional, you could do it yourself. My brother did it, and then he had to write her up this receipt from his LLC and stuff. Of course, he didn't make her pay, but you got to
Yeah.
turn that in. If you put something on your house, like one of them wire decorations, and your neighbor don't like it, they can go to the HOA fee and file. They can go to the HOA office and file a complaint, get you take it down. It's a mess.
It's a mess. You know those houses are stucco. I think you know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
the colonel said, and they don't sign their names to the letters. Yeah.
It was stucco houses, so you had to paint the outside. You remember a lot of people was putting up those stars that were, I guess,
those wire
the
stars.
Republican stars. It meant that you were a Republican or something.
Right.
They make you take those things down. Everything, Christmas decorations. They're
But my
all
mom had like a sundial or something.
They
It
made her
was
take it
real
down.
pretty. It was beautiful.
They said
And
take
it
that
had
down.
like the sunshine and to do all these pretty colors, and they made her take it down. So, you know, property, like I said, it's going to be a liability before it becomes an asset to you. But Bitcoin is property in cyberspace. It is an asset to you right now. So if that wasn't something you were interested in, you can still get in the property game because the IRS is going to tax you like it's property. You might as well take advantage of it.
Yep.
And precious metals as well. You know, get you a couple duffel bags full of silver and gold. It's real properties, easily transferable to your grandchildren or whoever you want to leave it to. And it's a great way to, you know, offset the cost of owning a home if that's not what you're interested in doing. All right, we're at the 2 hour mark.
Yes,
You
we
guys have any closing?
Yeah. I'm tired.
We are hoping, we really want Andy Sheckman because we want to give y'all some real economic updates, the BS they're doing with the mining and the pushing down of the silver price. Gold's actually doing pretty well, but I'm sure Andy Sheckman will give us some behind the scenes insight as to what's really going on with that. Because y'all know China owns the lion's share of gold, and Chase Bank owns the lion's share of silver in the world.
Yeah.
So Bitcoin's doing great. It's all, you know, it's always propelling tokens and other altcoins. So you guys should be doing really, really well. Remember to take profits. Either get yourself something you need or roll it into something else that you'd like to invest in.
There you go.
We are not financial advisors. Grizz, you want any closing remarks?
No, not really. I mean, I'm gonna join in with y'all tomorrow with Mr. Sheckman and ask a couple of questions. But it's good that y'all gonna be interviewing him because, you know, I got some poignant questions to ask him too, because I already talked to one of his brokers.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. So, and plus, I just think he a neat guy. He kind of, his train of thought is similar to ours as far as what is going on in the world and how things are happening. He kind of, I seen him on this shout out to Black Swan Capitalist. I seen him on this other YouTube show they call the Black Swan Capitalist, and he talked some good stuff, man, that makes sense as far as like world events and how they manipulating markets and all of that stuff. So it's gonna be something to look forward to. Just like Aaron said, get you some digital assets, get yourself some Bitcoin, get yourself some Ethereum. You got to be diverse, just like this realm that we in is diverse. Is different. There's different people here, and there's different things to do, and there's different places to go. Get you some assets that are different. Dollar cost average in the Bitcoin. If you think it's cost too much, which I was cheap when I first got into it, I wasn't gonna I don't know exactly what price it was, but when I got into this, I got in right when the bull cycle was starting. So I didn't know nothing from nothing.
Yeah.
And I was buying high and I was FOMOing. FOMOing is an acronym for fear of missing out. Don't do it. Trust me. Now with me DCAing and with me doing different things, my average is a lot lower and I know a lot more now. Time in the market will win every time. You can't time out the market, but the time that you are in the market and the more that you learn, the better off you're gonna be. So just make sure that you ain't gonna never be able to catch the true top, and you ain't gonna never be able to catch the true bottom unless you're an AI bot. And if you're an AI bot, shout out to you, AI bot, whatever you identify as, Mr. or Mrs. Bot. But I mean, yeah. So it's one of those things when you just know. Now you should know from listening to Aaron and Gordon about the cycles, and you should be doing your own research too. You got to do your own research. Now that I've done more research than I've ever done when it comes to this stuff, and I like it, you're gonna know when the cycles are. You're gonna pretty much be able to gauge or get a good DCA in these assets. Do it because it's the way that the world is going.
There you go. You got it. Did you want to read any comments? Anybody?
No, they're just saying the same. Hi, dear bitch. She's
Hey.
not getting notifications. I'm sorry because we were about to.
So let me close it out, man. I want everybody to go over to my good brother, the Chief, to his I'm sorry, to his YouTube channel. So is it the Chief LLC?
Yeah.
And we
have
it in the drop down. Yeah. We have it in the drop down. So you guys go over there and check out the Chief. He's got great information on his channel. That's my good brother for what, 20 years now, I guess. Since
over 20 years.
Oh yeah, it's been a minute, man. It's been a minute, man.
That's why y'all thinking we getting raw with each other and stuff. We've been talking to each other like this for years, man. So.
Yeah, Chief been yelling at me when I was a young. I ain't even gonna go in there. He's yelling at me as a young dude, but it's all good though. It's all good.
I was younger too, then, but it's all good. You still one. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I look at y'all as being if you in the room, you one of the smartest people in the room. So,
I give that to
her. I ain't feeling like that tonight. My brain is like it's fighting off the seizure. It's not firing like it should. Yeah. I'm talking slower.
She's talking slower.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do to make yourself better, baby. That's all.
I can't do nothing to make that better. Can't do nothing.
She about to lay down.
But even when I lie, I don't want to lay down because that's when you just gotta let the fireworks fire.
Yeah.
I'm back.
He's out.
I'm back in the game, Chief. So if you guys travel, man, I'm travel ready. I can go in.
Yeah. Me and
you gotta meet up.
Yeah, me and you be able to meet us down there. Me and Randy will be going down to look at some areas to do some to set something up down in Belize pretty soon, and we'll make sure we let you know so you can come on down and kick it with us. But we're gonna be on a fact finding mission and all of that. So
that's the right thing to do. Though. I like that. I like it.
All right, y'all. We're gonna let y'all go. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Thank you for your comments. You can always email me. My email address is in the drop down. And we hopefully will see y'all tomorrow.
For the 100th episode.
Yeah, Colonel, he's travel ready now, but my pistons ain't firing, so I probably the one now who's not travel ready. Last thing you want me to be 30,000, miles in the sky, and I'm seizing out. Feet?
I think it's feet.
Yeah, feet.
Okay.
Feet in the sea. That's what I'm saying. The pistons ain't firing.
That's pretty high.
Yeah, it's pretty high. 30,000 miles in the sky. We in space. Bye, y'all.
All right.